So this property we're setting up on for what I like to call a full level 3 tree preservation report. And what it entails is using some advanced tools to help determine both root system conflicts and canopy conflicts with the proposed development. And when you get to this phase, which is really design phase investigation, you may or may not already have a resource acquisition. You may have already done the inventory, or like in this case for me, maybe you're out here because the house is too close to an off-site tree, and you don't have any information yet, and you're here to figure it out. Okay, so the first thing we're doing is checking for root conflicts over here, and you'll see Robert go into town with a sod cutter because the lot is fairly overgrown. So before we bust out the air spade, it's always easiest to cut through the roots of the weeds and the grass and get everything down to soil grade before we turn on the machine. Otherwise you're just fighting grass roots the whole time, and it's a pain to get the soil out of the ground. And then in the meantime, I have the comments up for this project, and I'm preparing my report. So once we get the findings done, I'll already have a good head start on just plugging in the data, and then we can come up with a plan. All right, so here's our trench, or the start of the trench, where we got the grass and weeds out of the way. We have this survey pin that was marked for us before we came. We stringed it down to the other survey pin, and we created this pathway in all areas that correspond to 6 times trunk diameter away from that tree. Halfway there. Okay, the results are in over here. We excavated the soil. We see this oak has a bit of a lean, so we're kind of on the tension side here, and we worry about damaging supporting roots. So what we found over here, I've marked them, if you can read that, 2-inch root, 8.4 feet away from the pin. If you come down here, it's kind of backfilled on itself, but you can see that root right there. And then we found a 3-inch root over here, 13.2 feet away from the pin. And again, it's hard to see the dirt backfilled on it, but it's a 3-inch root right there. We've got pictures and measurements. And so what we're gonna do is have them span their footers over this section so to avoid damaging the tension side structural roots of this tree. All right, here we are out on a different site. I didn't get to record us measuring the canopy at the other place, but I've got a very similar project today. A little bit of a rain day, so good thing these poles are dielectric. But this is a tool that we use in the field to help measure canopy conflicts. It's a survey pole. It's primarily used for utility companies, but it worked great for trees. So you can see here that we're at 23 feet to our lowest permanent branch. And this is great news, because when we look at this lot from the front and on the plans, it looks like we need to prune a whole lot of the canopy to make the house fit there. But the house is only coming up 21 feet at the corner. And so we can actually keep that large structural limb that goes into the rear. We may have to lose this little 6-incher that comes over the middle, but that actually got, and it's hard to see, it's raining, but that got broken at demo of the old house anyways. So all we really need to do is remove one 6-inch limb, and although this looks really close and it's a huge canopy spread, removing one limb, we can build a house here. So survey pole is a great tool. Definitely recommend you guys getting one so you don't have to guess at your pruning specifications.